we didn't need anybody. We're going to shortly be energy dominant. We're going to make so much money. We're going to pay off debt. $35 trillion in debt. We're going to pay it off. We're going to get it done fast, too. But we're going to be paying, we're going to supply Europe all over the world. We're going to send our oil and gas. And then they ended it. They allowed Russia to build Nord Stream 2, which I shouldn't have done. I ended it. You know, I ended Nord Stream 2. I don't know if you all know that. And within the first couple of days, he approved it. That was the worst thing. That was the biggest project Russia's probably ever done in terms of dollars. And I ended it, Louis, right? And then they had him. He goes and says he approved it. He approved it. It was a dead deal. Nord Stream 2 going to Germany, all over Europe. And he comes in and he approved it. Then they say, oh, Trump wasn't tough on Russia. I was so tough on Russia. Putin said, if you're not tough now, I'd hate like hell to see you if you weren't tough. What we did was sanctions to Russia. We did things that you wouldn't believe. But what we're going to do for our country is very simple. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to get it back over the heart. You know, we took it from third place. We were in third and we were in fourth place. We were, when I left, unexpectedly, when I left, we were number one by a lot. And now they're dismantling all of that. They want to go all electric, even though we don't have enough electricity to cool down in California in the summers. You see that blackouts all over the place. This summer was a disaster. The winter's choking. The whole thing is crazy. Let's go all electric, but we don't have enough electric to take care of somebody's air conditioner in California. It's all over the place. But I'm proud to say that under my leadership, the United States became the #1 producer of oil and natural gas in the world by far. I mean, not just by a little bit. You have to see the chart. We ought to put up a chart. Why didn't you give me a damn chart? All right. I'll put it right in the face of that beautiful piece of equipment, whatever the hell it is. Boy, that looks beautiful. That is a beautiful hunk of stuff. That goes for cheap. And we became a net energy exporter for the first time in the history of our country. Do you know that? Because of people like that. Within days of my inauguration, I approved the Keystone XL and the Dakota Access pipelines. Literally within days. Remember, they were stopped. They weren't going to approve them. Guys, they spent billions of dollars. They weren't going to approve them. And actually, what happened is the Keystone was all set to go. It was started. They actually started. And Biden came in and he took it away. He took the permits away from everybody. I don't know how much money they lost on that deal. But they were going to build the pipeline all the way over to the Gulf, and Biden stopped it. And you know, the amazing thing is the union head representing the pipeline workers, the union head, I guarantee there's not one worker that voted for Biden, crooked Joe Biden. But the head of it, they endorsed this guy. And he comes in and within 2 days he ended the whole project, and those people suffered greatly. 48,000 jobs, 48,000 people that gave their life for that, and they never really sort of recovered. That's what they wanted to do. I withdrew from the disastrous Paris Climate Accord, which was a ripoff. It sounds not good. I want the Texas Climate Accord. I don't want the... We want the Texas Climate Accord. This is the climate we want, right, Lou? No, that was one of the greatest rip-offs. China was exempt, India was exempt, Russia was exempt. China didn't have to do anything until 2035, think of it. But we had to pay billions and billions and billions of dollars to other countries because they were a growing nation. They call them a growing nation. What are we? We're a nation that needs it more than anybody else now, because what they've done to our nation in the last 3 years, we need help a hell of a lot more than China and a hell of a lot more than these other countries that are ripping us off in every possible way, including psychologically. They've taken over the Middle East. Now Saudi Arabia is aligned with China. You know, when did you think that was going to be happening? They're all aligned with China, Russia, China, North Korea with China. We've lost everything. We've lost everybody. We're like, on an island by ourselves. But don't worry, I'll get it all back real fast, and I won't be back. And they'll come back fast. They're going to come back fast because ours was natural. Theirs is unnatural. We slashed approval times for pipelines and other energy infrastructure to bring it down from 10 years to less than 2 years, and we were going to get it down to about 1 year before we got before we had a pause. You know the word pause? We have a pause. We have a little pause in here, Wesley. It's a 4-year pause, and it taught us how bad things can get. And that's why we're hotter today as a movement. It's the hottest movement in the history of our country, by the way, by far. And we're a hotter movement today than we were 4 years ago. I opened Anwar for energy development, which presidents have been trying to do for over 50 years. They've been trying to get it done. They couldn't get it done. I got it done. I had gas prices down to $1.87 a gallon. And we were producing at a level that nobody's ever seen before. The chart I was telling you about it showed Saudi Arabia a line like blah, 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 you know, pretty straight, pretty flat, going up a little bit. It showed Russia going up a little bit, and it showed us going like this. Then Trump gets in, and we were like a rocket ship. It went boom. And that's what, because we have more liquid gold under our feet than Saudi Arabia or than Russia. That's not bad. Our energy policy was maximum production, maximum prosperity. We had prosperity like nobody's ever seen. And also maximum power, because it gave us power. Not the kind of power you're thinking about. I'm talking about tremendous political power. With crooked Joe Biden, you have the exact opposite. We're laughed at by everybody in the world. They don't even believe it. They can't believe it's happening. Our country is no longer respected. All 50 states have hit record high gas prices, but they're cutting way back on the gas. We're talking about numbers that nobody's ever seen before. Remember this, a lot of the energy production and a lot of the other production, where you see the stock market, a lot of the production that we have right now, go ahead, please sit down. You know, sit down, it's very hot. It's good for me, I don't know if it's good for you. Sit down. They'll be standing up in about 2 seconds. Anytime I mention drilling, they all stand up. But you know, the Biden administration, if you look, they're so bad, but they're just coasting right now on the fumes from what we did. But those fumes are wearing thin, and you see that happening. The economy is horrible. What's going on? Biden blocked oil and gas leasing in America. When he killed the Keystone Pipeline, he approved, remember that? The Russian pipeline shortly thereafter, Nord Stream 2, and nobody ever heard of Nord Stream 2 until I came along. Nobody knew they were building the biggest pipeline anyone's ever seen, I guess, covering all of Europe. And what he did is he immediately approved it. I had it absolutely stopped. He re-entered all of the Parisian situations where we were paying for everything and they weren't, the energy producers, and now he's pushing a suicide power plant regulations that will shut down every oil and gas and coal-fired power plant in America. You know, he's pushing regulations which will close up the power plants in this country. And the least he could do is take a look, a modern-day look at Germany. 4 years ago, I told Angela Merkel, who I got along with actually surprisingly well. She was tough. She made a couple of mistakes. She let about 2 million people into the country that they shouldn't have. That was a big mistake. And she made something else. She decided she's going all green. And they closed a lot of their plants, fueled by a lot of people and people here working there. And you know what happened? Their whole economy went to hell. And now they're opening up coal-fired plants all over Germany. Nobody knows that. They've gone the exact opposite because they tried this Green New Deal bullshit and it didn't work. And if Biden gets his way, the United States, and it's happening now because you see permits aren't being given out, they're taking everything. You know, we had that thing going so at a level. And now it's starting to come down because those times have expired and they're not renewing leases or anything else. The filing dates are coming due. People are going in for new drillings and they're getting rejected left and right. Who would do that? How stupid is that? That's like open borders. Let's open up our borders so the whole world can come into our country. These are stupid people. Or they're people that hate our country, and I'm not sure which. The way I look at it, they can't be stupid because anybody that can cheat on elections as good as them, they're pretty smart. But there's an evilness and a sickness there, and I really think they want to destroy our country. If Biden gets his way, the United States will be reduced to an impoverished third world, crippled blackouts. We're going to have crippling blackouts. We're going to have people literally begging our enemies for mercy. We're losing all of our power with what they're doing.
Yes.
It's crazy. It's crazy. So I want to, just tell you that it's companies like this, and we have them in so many, making tractors, making everything. Companies that are the greatest companies in the world, they're being put out of business by people that don't know what they're doing. The auto workers just signed a deal, and they got an increase. But they got an increase, but they won't have jobs in 3 years because everything is going electric. And you know the story with the cars. It doesn't work. We're not going to make electric cars in this country. We don't have what's necessary for electric cars. We have what's necessary for gasoline cars or hybrids. But Texas Patriots will never, ever let what they're trying to do happen. You know why you won't, and you know how you stop it? Elect Trump, and you're going to stop it. You're not going I went to Michigan, which is under siege, and they're going to be losing all their jobs, all their auto jobs. Everyone's jumping up, oh, we got a new contract. Those companies are all going to go down the tubes. Bankrupt, yes, but they're going to go down the tubes. There won't be auto jobs because they didn't cover the fact that all cars have to be electric. And I'm telling you, if they don't do it right, if they don't do it fast and right, you're not going to have any semblance of automobile manufacturing in this country. I did very well with Mexico. I like the president very much. He's a friend of mine, but they took 32% of our automobile manufacturing out of our country and brought it into Mexico, and that's a sin. Canada took a lot, and we signed a deal which is very good for Texas, the USMCA. We got NAFTA. That was a big thing. That was a big jolt for our country. We went from the worst deal ever done, ever, NAFTA, one of the greatest rip-off deals, and now we're in the USMCA. And if you look, that's Mexico, Canada, and if you look right now, they're meeting with Biden. They want to renegotiate the terms of the deal. And Louis, I would say go there as an ex-congressman who was very tough and successful. Tell him you better not do that deal. They want to renegotiate the terms. It's always nice though when you make a deal. I have a lot of deals where they're all trying to renegotiate it now with Biden. The sad part is they'll probably be able to do that, but don't worry, we'll change it back very fast. We'll change it. With your vote, we will fire Crooked Joe Biden, and we will reclaim America's destiny as the greatest energy superpower on the face of the earth. We were there. We were there. We were going to be there in a very short, within a year, they would have been saying, man, what the hell is going on? Perhaps worst of all, Biden's insane mandates on so much, by the way, including these mandates. You know what that is? Those are insane mandates, too. We're not here to talk about that. But we're not going to let them. There's a move on now. All boats have to go electric. Army tanks have to go electric. Because they want the tank. You know, we make the greatest tanks in the world, Army tanks. Think of this. We make the greatest in the world because the tanks, if they're electric, you're going into a country blasting the hell out of it. But at least we're doing it in an environmentally friendly way. It's environmentally friendly. The problem with the tanks, though, it's really a problem, that the battery storage capacity It's so big. It's so big that the tank would have to pull something behind it that's much bigger than the tank. So that's a little bit of a problem. They can't seem to work that out. But no, they want to make our Army tanks, think of this, they want to make our Army tanks all electric for the environment. They want to make our planes, our jet fighters. They came to me when I was there. They have a new fuel that we can save about 15% on the environment. I said, what does it do to the plane? Well, it makes it less efficient. Would you like to be a pilot up there and you got guys shooting at you and you're approximately 15% less efficient, but it's environmentally friendly to the people that you're at war with? This is what they're doing, and they want to take boats and make them. I was in South Carolina recently. A great company like this, one of the biggest, one of the best, it's incredible. And he said the biggest problem we have is they want to make, you know, those beautiful Mercury engines that you see, the outboard engines, the inboard, they want to have them all electric now. And they said to the owner, like a guy like Mario, very similar, very, very successful, built from nothing. Now he's one of the biggest boat manufacturers. They said, how bad would it be if you went all electric? He said, well, the one thing is it's very heavy, so we don't think the boat can float. So they're all Number two, they have the same problem, big. It's very big, so we'll have very little room in the boat. The thing is like 8 times larger than what you need for a gasoline-fired engine. And I asked him a question. He said, you know, you must be scientific, because my uncle was a great student, and then he was a great professor at MIT for 40 years. He has the record, longest-serving professor in the history of MIT. That's pretty good, Wesley, right? Dr. John Chump. And I used to talk to him about things like this, but I said to him, he said, nobody's ever asked me. He said, what would happen if you're out at sea and your boat sinks and you have a whole big electric deal under you? Would you get electrocuted? He said, you know, nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, I'd like to know, what would happen? He said, I don't know, I'd have to think about it. I said, so if that boat goes down and you have a shark that's 10 yards away, so you have a choice of a shark or being electrocuted, I will take electrocution every single day. Anyway, the day I take office, I will cancel Crooked Joe's electric vehicle mandate. Steve, I don't know. Unless Mario says don't do it, otherwise I'll do it. We're going to cancel the first day. In fact, I even said the first hour. After the speech, you know the long, beautiful runway you walk up after the speech? I will sign the papers as I'm walking up, okay? We won't even wait till I get to the office. Texas was a big beneficiary of what we did, and the fumes are burning lightly now, but they're still burning a little bit. But in another year, you're going to see how bad it is, because you know what's happened. You know what? You won't see the future. The future is bleak. Under the Trump administration, electric, hybrid, and gasoline-powered engines will be allowed all over our country and all over the world. But remember this, very important. That's allowed, but child sexual mutilation will not be allowed. You know, it's amazing when you run for office and you all of a sudden start talking about different things. And if you put ourselves up, take great politicians like we have in our various rows up here, and I didn't want to say front because I don't want to make them sound, you know, they do have frequencies. They have frequencies. But you take these politicians. Wesley, who would have ever thought as a politician we'd stand up here before a tremendous crowd in Texas, where actually the crowd is only 5 times bigger. We want to keep it down, right? I said just as small as we talk about energy, and you have to see what's going on outside. Who would have ever thought that one of the things that we would talk about would be, we will stop child sexual mutilation? Could you imagine having, if you made the statement, even that statement, we will stop it, people would say, is he insane? Or we will give back parents their rights, and so they don't have any rights. No, but who would think you'd have to make that statement, Sid, right? We will give back parental rights. People would say, if you said that 10 years ago, they'd say, what's wrong with that guy? Of course we have parental rights. Or, how about this one? We will not allow men in women's sports. If you said that 10 years ago, they'd say you're crazy. And now I have to say it all the time because they have men going into women's sports, setting records, the likes of which nobody's ever seen before. You got to see the weightlifting records, though. Those are the ones. You know, there's some that are more obvious than others, right? You know, with golf, you still have to sink a putt. And the women can do it, the men can do it. Some can do it well, not too many, not too many. But, you know, with weightlifting, that's down and dirty. That's how much can you lift. And you know this, or should I tell the one story? Have you heard it before? The one story is a young woman who was a great champion weightlifter. And she was going to break the record. Her mother, her father, her husband, everybody was there, 2 kids. And they're in the front row, just like these people, right there. And she's going to break this record, and she gets up. It's 216 or something pounds like that. It's a lot. And they put a 1/4 ounce on one side of the barbell, a 1/4 ounce on the other side of the barbell. She got over that thing, and she started going. She's going to show her parents that this is going to be a record. And I shouldn't do this because the First Lady hates me when I do it. She said, please don't do the weightlifting. It's not presidential. I said, but the crowds like it. Well, I wouldn't do this in a State of the Union speech. So she gets over that big barbell, and she gets it up, and she's so proud of herself. She gets it up. Oh, she's got it. The mother's going, go, baby, go. You can do it, baby. I love you so much. And it's bad news, bad things are happening. Mom, I'm sorry. Mom, I didn't do it. Oh, didn't do it. Then a guy comes along, he's next, and he transitioned recently. They said, have you lifted before? No, I haven't really. No. Well, good luck. He goes over. Big, small, small. I think they broke the record by 150 pounds, okay? Now just the guest or the swimmer. She looks left, she looks right. She sees all the people she's been swimming against. Top champion, NCAA, top. She looks left, she wants to break the record by 1/8 of a second, which would be a big achievement. It stood for a long time. And then she looks right and she sees the same people, except there's one person that transitioned. He transitioned about a year ago. She heard about her, and she looked up, and it's the largest human being she's ever seen. He had, only the older folks would know what I mean by this. He had a wingspan very similar to Wilt the Stilt Champion. And she said, what the hell, who is he? Or her? And they said, ready, set. Her parents were there too. She wanted to do them so go! And she was badly injured, very sadly injured. You know why? Windburn. He went by her so fast that she suffered massive windburn. Took her to the hospital. Now the whole thing is ridiculous. And you know, women are afraid to speak out about it, believe it or not. Even these athletes on the teams are afraid. We're like, well, it's okay, it's okay. It's ridiculous. It's very demeaning to women, and we will end that on the first day. So Biden's, Buttigieg's green new energy calamity is one of the biggest factors causing, as you know, the inflation disaster, which is about the worst we've ever had. The typical American family is paying more than $2,250 in increased energy costs since Biden took office. That's a lot. And if you look at the overall cost, it's about $8,000 per family. You add up the bacon. You know, bacon is up 5 times what it used to be. But food is up worse than energy. You know, energy is bad. This is your business. But food is worse, and other things are worse. By contrast, under the Trump administration, we reduced energy costs for the average American family by $2,500. That's a big difference, $5,000. $5,000. Low-cost energy also helped us bring jobs and factories roaring back from China, Mexico, and all of the other foreign countries that have been ripping us off for many years, decades and decades. We created an incredible 1.2 million new manufacturing jobs. Nobody said that was possible. Do you remember Obama? Did anybody ever hear of Obama? That's not very respectful, sir. Barack Hussein Obama. Remember Rush Limbaugh? He'd go, Barack Hussein Obama. He used to scream out. He will be missed, right? He is missed. He is missed. But we created an incredible 1.2 million manufacturing jobs. Everybody said that was impossible. Obama said it was not possible. He thought we gave up on manufacturing, that places like this, Mario, wouldn't exist. You know that. He said that they'll be made in other places. You know, we would have nothing to do. What are we going to do? They want to build just low-income. Everyone's going to build low-income housing. At some point, or senior citizen, at some point, though, people have to, like, work, create things, you know, not just places to stay. But in my next term, to accelerate our manufacturing resurgence, and we were setting records. Not only were we building and doing it, we were setting records at doing manufacturing jobs, because I was tariffing and taxing China and other countries at a level that made it more competitive for companies like this to build here than it was to build over in China to deliver here.
Y'all get up in the chat, man. We out here right now. Donald Trump rally out here in Houston, Texas.
And sell them in the United States and lose our...
Trump said he's banning men and women's sports. I agree. We banning men and women's sports.
If you want to sell them in India, or if you want to sell them in any one of many countries, come over here and build a plant. But you're not going to sell them and can make them in the United States. We let this go on for years. We stopped. And who can blame them if they get away with it? Who can blame them? That's
I can't read y'all comments. They got them coming over each other for some reason, man. Y'all turn it up, hit that like button. Let me come back some. Y'all hit that like button, man. Turn it up. We gonna get the information. I don't know if Biden got nothing going on, but if he do, we'll pull up to his also. Get both sides, see what we got to offer. Donald Trump said he's banning men and women's sports. I agree with him. We talked about a man who beat a woman in weightlifting, which is obvious. I agree, separate. If you want to transition, do you. But we don't need anybody transitioning into sports. We need to stop kid mutilation. I agree. Donald Trump addressed that. Talked about being dominant in the oil and gas industry, so I agree with that. Talked a lot, learned a lot today of some plans, so we'll see what Joe Biden got to offer.
This ship that was costing so much money. And I landed with a helicopter on top of this massive, incredible ship from Newport News, being made in Newport. And I said to the people they all with me, they said,
a lot of people here.
This is the admiral, this is the general, and this is this and that. I said, I don't want to meet. I want to meet the catapult people. The people that have gotten the catapult.
I don't know why my chat is messed up, man.
And so they said, really, sir?
My chat is messed up.
No, the ship is $10 billion over budget. I don't
hit up.
I want to find out what the hell happened because the catapults weren't working.
We outside Trent
So for
Setter.
50 years we used steam. And that beautiful scene, that steam goes off and that plane gets thrown the hell off the...
My arms are tired, but we gonna get it, man.
It's cheap.
I can't see the chat. Is the chat blurry for y'all? My chat is crossing over letters.
Yes, sir, I'm the chief catapult. If you told him he could live in a penthouse in Drunktown and have the life of Riley that I did have before I did this crap. I had the greatest life of anybody, Wesley. They say, what the hell did you do this for? I got more indictments than Al Capone. If I flew my plane right over there, they'd indict me for flying over his property.
Man, I got more diamonds than Al Capone.
We have a big problem with the electric car. Yes, sir. I said, well, why? It doesn't work, sir. And when it breaks, you have to be a rocket scientist to fix it.
Man, for some reason I can't see what y'all typing in the chat, man.
Which is better, steam or electric?
Can y'all see y'all
Steam,
chat?
sir.
Y'all chats
I
are
said,
like
why
crossing
did they
over.
design electric? Because it can keep going like this all day long, but it takes us 59 seconds to reload a plane. And when we reload the plane, the steam goes up and it's all set, sir. It's perfect.
Can y'all see what's in the chat? Because I cannot.
Fix it with a blowtorch if something happens. And if a wave
Hey, y'all,
hits
hold on real quick. I'm going to make a
it
call.
actually
Hold on
cools
real
us
quick.
down, sir. We
Make a
love the
call.
waves it has. If a wave hits the electric, we're out of business, sir. We might, we'll die with this thing. I said, it'll never work, will it? No, sir. They spent
I'm going to make a call real quick, y'all, because I want to see what's going on with the chat.
Cost extras to fix it. And it never really got fixed. Never really got fixed. Beautiful, beautiful ships. But I said, what's the hell wrong with this? Sir, nobody could tell me. I said, but I know a lot about the landings and pilots and the talent. And you have actually some great pilots that just can't do that. You just can't do it. They cannot land on an aircraft carrier for reasons. They can't do it. They may be better than some of the pilots that can land, but they can't do it. So I said, when we move it to the back, doesn't that create a problem for the pilots? Because it's back there, you're going to land, and that means you're landing like you're going to miss it down on top of it. You have more deck space. So that's right. I said, who was the architect of the ship? So I called the people. They of course, I'd like to meet with the architect. I said, can I ask you one question? Yes, now you understand, this is the largest ship in the world. This is like Kennedy Airport. We wish we had runways that big, right? I said, may I ask you one question, and I don't mean to be rude? Yes, sir. Have you ever designed a ship before? And he said, well, I worked. But these people are, this is crazy, Gus. You could look at things that they do. I said, I have one more question. Why do you have this room on the bottom, these very unusually shaped rooms? Sir, that's where we store our ammunition. I said, so you store all of your ammunition under the tower. How does the captain feel about that? And the truth is, they made a mistake. Nobody ever thought about it. I said, why do you store that? I mean, this guy's got it. It'll be the first place they ate. They used to have it in different compartments all over the place so people couldn't figure it out. Maybe by now they change it. But they had a 10, you're supposed to cost $3 billion or less. And I think it ended up at $18 billion for one ship. That's our property. It's very sad. And I put a lot of things that
Chat, y'all turn this up, man. Sorry I can't hold the phone stable. My arms tired as hell, but we here though. We gonna leave it up too, raw and uncut, man. Come up in here, hit that like button, go turn it up. I ain't gonna lie, we address Trump has been addressing some things, child mutilation. He said 3 key words in the beginning: oil, gas, and guns. So
Steve, I guarantee you he has comments.
us being in dominance, dominating.
Because you don't have to have a label. I mean, it's like, I don't want open borders. I want low taxes. I want great education. I want wonderful housing at low interest rates. I want voter ID. I want voter ID. So we're going to create millions of new jobs, and we're setting the ambitious goal of achieving the absolute lowest cost for energy and electricity. We're going to rebuild our grid system. We're going to do things that nobody's ever thought possible, and we're going to do it fast. It's going to get done very fast. And this place in this state, this particular place, but this state would be one of the big beneficiaries. I can tell you that a lot of states will benefit, but this one. And we've seen under the Biden administration, energy security is really, it's national security. Think of it. Energy security is national security. That's what it is. Right. And we don't have national security. like a bunch of great young people that have like a rudderless ship. If you don't have energy, and if you don't have borders, and if you don't have fair elections, you don't have a country.
Yes.
See him?
Yes.
We're close to having no country. Joe Biden's Green New Deal socialist scam, it's a scam.
Don't mess with the man.
It ships our energy jobs from Texas to Durand, from Midland to Moscow, from Oman to Beijing. Beijing, China.
Take out his security.
Incredible what they've done. They've taken so much of what we had. Biden's policies are good for China, but they're not good for
And we got it.
That's why I always say America first. That's so good. Remember when I first came out in 2015? I started not thinking it was going to do this. How would you like to be first lady?
Say maybe
She's a very confident person. She just wants what's good for the country, what's good for me, and what's good for her. And I said, how would you like to be first lady?
a small rally.
She said, I remember that. Yes.
Just here, just
He wondered if she'd like to like her. But millions and millions of dollars
even though
China to sell off American energy. The industry, a lot of it went to the Chinese communist parties. I had a great relationship actually with presidency until COVID. Then I said, that's enough. That was too bad. And I said, when it first came out, the Wuhan labs, right? I always said, I never, they said caves from 2,000 miles away.
yeah, when I get back to Vegas.
And they blamed Italy, France, they even tried to blame our soldiers, and then they finally said, all right, we know. But I said it was from the Wuhan labs, that's where it was from. Because we saw thousands of dead bodies around the world.
Let me see if.
Very bad deal.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to get up to it.
We made the greatest trade deal.
Look right here, baby. You can see it clear.
Walk around real quick, y'all. Hold on.
We took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes.
Hey, I'm gonna walk around to the other side real
I
quick.
gave $28 billion.
See what's going
to
down
raise
up over
funds
here.
for the audience, but let me tell you, in Iowa, they love
Go to
Trump.
the other
I'm up by
side,
about
man.
40 points in Iowa. We're up by 40 points in Nebraska. Wisconsin, we're doing unbelievable. We're doing
Going to this side because they got
But people came back to me,
talking
sir,
over
it
there.
doesn't sound good, it's condescending. What? Don't mention to Iowa that you know you're going to win. Say I'd like to win. I said, wait a
In the
minute.
back, though.
You know I'm going to win. I gave him 28
Y'all turn it up, turn it up.
How do I lose, right? I said
Turn it
to
up.
myself. And the people in Iowa, they get it, and we're up way up. We have competition that's not so good there, or anywhere else for that matter. You see where Ron DeSanctimonious is now in third place? Can you imagine? Bert Brain is number 2. Bert Brain. I will never run against our president. He was the greatest president. I will never run against him. Under no circumstances will I run against President Trump. 2 months later, ladies and gentlemen, I'm announcing the candidates. What the hell happened to that? That's what you have in politics, with the exception of Wesley and Louis. And we have some, by the way, we have great people. Dan Patrick is great. He's a great guy. I hope you like him. He's the chairman of our campaign, right? And so many great ones. Ronnie Jackson. Troy. Do we love Troy? We have a couple that I don't like too much, but we'll tell you about them around election time. We'll talk to you about that as the election nears. But it was just proven by House Republicans that Joe Biden personally received vast sums of money funneled from China directly into his pockets. Joe Biden is corrupt and Joe Biden is compromised, and you'll never have good deals with these foreign countries because they know everything about him. They know far more about him than we do. Biden even depleted the strategic petroleum reserve that we did so great with. Remember, we bought all that oil when the price was nice and low, right? We bought so much, we filled that thing, and nobody ever saw anything like it. And And for the election, he wanted to see if we could have very little impact in terms of, because believe it or not, the energy capacity of our country is so big that even that, which is probably the largest storage areas of the world. We bought, we made a great deal, got a lot of it at $20 a barrel. $20 a barrel, doesn't that sound good? But we got a lot because we actually produced so much, it was starting to get a little bit wild out there, so we had to cut it back, and we did cut it back, and everybody made a lot of money, and everybody had inexpensive energy, and it was a beautiful thing, and it was really getting ready to rock. And I couldn't wait to go over to Europe and make those deals. I would have made deals with every single country over there. They didn't need the Russia Nord Stream 2 pipeline. They didn't need it. Crooked Joe puts China first, Russia first, Venezuela first. How about that one? Venezuela, I thought they were the enemy, Louis. They have the worst, they don't have gasoline and they don't have oil. They have tar. And I hate to say this, I'm in the wrong place to say it. You know where it's refined? There's only one refinery.
Yo, y'all get up in the chat, man. Hit that like button. Get it to 100. Fuck
They
it.
got a lot of them.
We here,
You know where
man.
that refinery is located?
Getting the information live from the source, saying what's what.
Has anyone ever heard of Eastern Texas?
This is actually a Trendsetter Engineering Company, oil and gas industry. Tomball. It's a suburb right outside of Houston.
Sweet, they call it sweet. The real thing.
For people who have never been out here
They
before.
love it, they can taste it. They don't mind. We have the most of it, but for those people that don't want to do it, you are right now in your city, the refinery for the tar, which takes tremendously costly. But what it sends up into the air is unbelievable. And this was his choice. We could have taken it for nothing, under our feet. But he takes it from an enemy country, a country that is now run by dictators and run by a
What's going on,
dictator. And that dictator was on his last couple of weeks at the end of the Trump administration. And now that dictator is a very rich man, very rich. But Biden puts America last, and he puts our workers last, he puts our industries like this last, he puts your families last, and he puts everything that's good last. It's like April Fool's Day. Go through it. What has he done? Think of it. He's been there for 3 years. What has he done that's good? There hasn't been one thing that's done. Everything is bad. The border is bad. So $1,000 anybody that can name something with, no, but think of it. Illegal aliens, the immigration, the border. We built more wall than we said we're going to build 400 miles. We built 561 miles of wall. We then ordered another 200 because like water, you think you've got it, but they start walking around it a little bit. So we ordered another 200. It was ready to be put in place, would have taken 3 weeks. And they said, we don't want it. That's when I realized they actually wanted it because they wouldn't put it up. And it lay there rusting. And then recently I read where they sold it for 5 cents. The best wall. And this was a wall that was designed specifically by Border Patrol and me and everybody. And I didn't like it. I wanted to do concrete plank like you have in the parking garage. I was a good builder. I was the best. I built great. But I wanted concrete plank. And what happened is long stretches, you could go 80, 90 feet, but long stretches, and Border Patrol said you have to see through it. And sir, we need steel on the outside, concrete on the inside, then you need rebar. So we had steel, very tough steel, very hardened steel. Then we had hardened concrete. Believe it or not, there's a lot of different concrete. Some is unbelievably powerful. The technology on concrete is the same technology that you've done with drill bits. It's incredible how powerful it is. You can get it up to 10,000 pounds. And if you ever drop it, if you're building an apartment house, a tall one, and you drop some on the floor, it's a bad thing because you can't get it off. You can't get it off. But they needed that, and we actually had it tested by mountain climbers, great mountain climbers. And this was the one that was hardest for them to get up. And then we had the anti-climb provision. That's the piece on top, which I never liked the look of. But I said, well, why do we have to put that piece? I don't like the look. He said, that's anti-climb. That panel makes it very hard to get over. Does that make sense to anybody? Another panel. So when you see the panel up There's it. Don't blame me for the look, but it does make it very.
All right, y'all, we out here.
If you didn't have that panel, it's
Donald
much
Trump
easier. So we
speaking
did it
live
all
in
the
Houston,
right
Texas,
way. We had this all
man.
built.
Y'all
Another
tap
200
in with me
miles
real
and they
quick.
sold
We're
it
gonna
for
talk
5
about it
cents.
all, man.
It's so sad to
What's
see
going
what's
down?
going on with our country. But Biden surrendered our energy independence to foreign
What we on?
producers,
What
just
we
like he
on?
surrendered
Turn us up. Turn us
Afghanistan
up.
to the Taliban. What a horrible thing that was. That was the
Turn us up in the
lowest
chat, man. What's good
point,
with
I
y'all,
think, in the
man?
history of our country. I don't think our
Who all
country's
up in
ever
here
been
with me?
more degraded or embarrassed.
Try to see if I can get some
than
people to speak, man.
horrible day where they
for
gave
the
away
vlog.
$85 billion worth of brand new that I bought because I rebuilt the entire military.
See,
We
does
rebuilt
anybody
it,
want to speak on my
48-year-old
vlog? Let me
flags.
get my,
We built the
what you
entire
call it
military.
out.
Rebuilt it. The whole
Y'all make sure y'all
military.
tap
And he
in,
gave
man.
$85 billion
I'm
away, which the good news, it's not that much relative to what we built.
if
But
Biden has something out here, I'll pull up. I don't know if he gonna have nothing in Texas or Houston. If he has something in Houston, I'll pull up to Biden's also. We'll get both sides. I guess they the lead candidates for this year. I would assume so. I don't see Joe Biden winning again. Just keeping it all the way 1,000. I haven't seen a lot of productivity since he's been in office, but I can't speak to the political laws and deals that they got with other countries, but on the moral side, as far as us becoming a weak country, us giving money and all our resources to the other countries and not putting America first, I most definitely agree with Donald Trump on that. So he did something for the hostages too. Thing over there. So we'll see, man. I'm with him on the moral side of like where the country is gone as far as what we highlighting. He also said something real big. A lot of people don't believe in God no more. That got addressed by Donald Trump today. A lot of people don't believe in God. So I'm with that conversation at all times, but we'll be back. Y'all subscribe, Urban Politicians TV. We got more coming, more videos, all that. I'm gonna try to do a vlog on this shit. Let me see if I can get some people to speak.
You know, I spoke to the head of the.
See if I can get some people to speak. We'll be back live later on, man. 1,000. Tap in.